On the Cancer Couch with Megan and Kutzai.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to On the Cancer Couch. And I'm very excited today about our episode. Firstly, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce our co-host, or my co-host. That's Kutzai. Kutzai, good day. How are you today?
Hi, Megan. I'm good today, and I'm so happy that we are matching today. Something fun for all viewers.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say to you, I'm so very excited about this episode because I think we needed it for some time already. So we're going to be speaking about healthy choices, also trusted partnerships with the CANSA seal, and of course, for all of us, smarter eating. And it gives me great pleasure that we are joined today by one of CANSA's longest standing partners. That is Southern Oil, the manufacturers of our Be Well range, a brand that is many South Africans know and trust, and it is a South African brand. And joining us today are our two guests from Southern Oil, representing the Be Well brand. And I'm going to introduce Tersia Joubert. Tersia, hello. It is really fantastic to see you. And we've known each other for quite some time and worked together. And it's such a pleasure here to have you with us and to be able to chat through the brand. So Tersia is the head of research and development and the lead R&D technologist at Be Well Foods, where she drives product and ingredient innovation aligned to evolving consumer needs. She also represents the business as a thought leader across the South African food industry. And very importantly as well, she represents also very important practical insight on trends, innovation, and how brands can stay relevant in our very fast changing market. And it's a lot to say because she's actually got such a wealth of experience. So her work and her commentary frequently center on wellness, aligned offerings, ingredient integrity, and sustainability. And this helps to translate these macro trends into an actionable R&D and commercial strategy for both retail and food service markets. So welcome, Tersia. It's so exciting to chat to you today.
Thank you, Megan. No, it's also very exciting for me to be part of the podcast today.
Thank you.
And joining us from Southern Oil also is their marketing manager, Murishca Martheze. Murishca is an accomplished marketing manager with over 15 years of experience in brand, digital, and loyalty marketing across Southern African and international consumer brands. She currently leads marketing at Be Well at Southern Oil, where she drives brand growth, strengthens market presence, and enhances consumer understanding of the health and lifestyle benefits of canola oil and Be Well products. In her role, she oversees brand strategy, consumer acquisition, and key partnership initiatives, and has been instrumental in launching Be Well's gamification and CRM programs, positioning their brand as a preferred partner within the food industry. Murishca's career includes work with prominent brands such as Woolworths, Kicks, Timber City, Pick n Pay, Carrefour, Burger King, and Yoko. Her expertise spans digital strategy, loyalty ecosystems, strategic partnerships, and brand development, underpinned by a passion for storytelling and impactful communication. Welcome to our podcast, Murishca. We are very happy to have you on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm actually on the chair, not on the couch, but very happy to be on the couch with CANSA. And I can promise you I did not write that very long intro, but thank you.
So, ladies, CANSA is celebrating 95 years this year, and long-term partnerships like yours are so important to us. Can you please tell us about Be Well's journey with CANSA and why this partnership is so important to you?
So, yes, Kutzai, from my side, CANSA has literally been a part of Be Well's journey from the start. I mean, from the moment we decided to start the brand and to start packing canola oil into a bottle, for retail, CANSA's been with us on that journey, and that is truly amazing. And I think, if I think back what it's meant, I mean, in the beginning, canola oil was not well known in South Africa. I mean, I think there was some knowledge, but the general consumer, did not know that much. So to have a partner in CANSA that people already knew, gave us some, well, I almost want to say confidence to go into the market and to say, listen, this is a really great product. And it's not just us saying so, we've got CANSA's backing and support on this. So no, it's really been meant a lot to us over the years.
Absolutely. And just to echo what Tersia's saying, so whilst the journey's been, I think, more than a decade long now, and Southern Oils exist for about 30 years, and BeWell as a brand for more than 10 years too, the journey just solidifies and gives us health credibility. So because your organization is really well known and people trust it, collaborating with another trusted brand immediately boosts trust within your brand to consumers. So it's been a very beneficial journey, I think, for both of us, but more so that it gives consumers peace of mind, that this product has been vetted by a credible organization or an organization that they are inspired by, whose work that they find remarkable. So it's only, like I said, it's a win-win for both organizations. So to date, it's been a good journey and we're thankful for it.
You so much for that, and I agree. We've both CANSA and BeWell and Southern Oil. We have a shared purpose, and of course, we know that BeWell always stands for more than just food. And how does your brand contribute to building a healthier future for South Africans?
Well, from a brand perspective, I mean, BeWell exists, and Tersia can add to it too from a product development perspective and kind of what she considers in terms of ingredients and formulation. But ultimately, the brand exists to deliver canola-rich products that are better for consumers' health. With the way with ingredients, our products are obviously naturally higher in omega-3, and we know that supports heart and brain function. So there are so many health benefits attached to it that why wouldn't you choose BeWell? Why wouldn't you invest in a product and buy a product that is just better for you in the long term? And we make it easy for everyday consumers. You don't necessarily have to be super knowledgeable on what all of the ingredients are, but you can trust that our brand has your best interests at stake. And that's why we partner with the CANSA and other organizations like the Heart and Stroke Foundation, because again, it just gives us that health credibility and stamp of approval. But yeah, ultimately our range is there to help people cook and fry and prepare meals in a heart healthier and a better way.
Yes, and also, I think a big part of BeWell as a brand has been about making better choices, in your everyday life. So on the food side, it's exactly like Murishca is saying, you choose a product. If you choose BeWell canola oil or mayonnaise, you're choosing a product that's very high in omega-3. There's a clear benefit to it. But even BeWell's even a call for making better choices in the rest of, or in other areas of your life. It's not just food, but maybe it's getting better sleep or getting more sleep. It's about going out there and getting active, in small ways, So literally the choices we make on a daily basis, to kind of be well and to kind of make that better choice for us.
Yeah, I must agree. From a food perspective, I always think it's important that once we have a product like that in our home, we're already ticking a good block, not only for in terms of health, but for ourselves, but for our families.
Yes.
So that is probably more affordable and more accessible for many. And I love the fact that it's a South African brand. And with all of that, and with all the research behind omega-3, we know that there is an importance to ensuring people taking in more omega-3, which many people are lacking. So it's a great product from that perspective as well.
definitely.
That's really interesting. And I like what you said, Murishca, about that stamp of approval. That while consumers might not know exactly what goes into the ingredients, but when they see that stamp of approval on products, then they know that this is a brand you can trust, and this is a brand that has been verified independently by laboratory tests. That this is something that is good for you, something you can choose versus perhaps other products on the shelf. So Be Well is among the earliest companies or partners to receive the CANSA Seal of Recognition. So if we want to hear from you, and we hope that this will help others out there if they're listening and would like to partner with us, do you want to maybe say in a few words what the process involved and why it was important for you to get the the CANSA Seal of Recognition, and especially to meet those tough and stringent criteria and standards?
Yes, we were actually talking about it before, me and Murishca, and I've been with the company since 2011. So it's about 14, 15 years now. And even before that, the initial CANSA endorsement, I think, is probably about 17 or 18 years old. So the initial application and approval, what happened a bit before my time. But
Okay.
I can imagine that it was a very exciting time for us. And like I mentioned before, putting a new product on the market and having this partnership with CANSA. Obviously, it would have been important for us to adhere to the standards that CANSA required. So but the needed external analysis, the third-party analysis of the product to ensure that, what we are putting on the label, what we are saying, what CANSA is requiring for approval, is there, So we needed that kind of, and with CANSA being evidence-based, it's not just us saying we're good or you saying that the product is good, it really is evidence-based. So that clearly was part of that initial process. And, I often tell people, in that beginning period, I basically started just after the Be Well brand was decided on. And, we go to events. And now we only have oil, it's not like now we've got mayonnaise and everything, and people are tasting and can get excited about something. So now we have oil and we have to market oil. And, it's early morning, and kind of tasting oil early in the morning is not everyone's favorite thing to do. And, then you kind of fall back on, you want to share with how fantastic the benefits is, how, low in saturated fat, high in omega-3. And you could see people, it's difficult when you talk really science-based things. Sometimes, it's not always, I want to say, fun, if I can call it that.
Yeah.
Yes. But they'd see CANSA on the label.
Yes.
Immediately that would mean something to them. I wouldn't even have to explain anything because they know, what CANSA is standing for and what it means. So for us, that was what was important about that initial, making sure we get the stamp of approval, we get the endorsement, and we make it part of our brand.
That's really interesting to hear, Tersia, because it makes us really proud of this partnership even more, because that's what it's all about. We want consumers to recognize that badge on the product and know, without necessarily knowing all the technicalities that go into it, but they'll be able to trust that this is something that has been, like you say, peer-reviewed, evidence-based. It's not just us saying, just pick it for the sake of. There's a lot of science that goes behind it, and people should just, when they see that stamp of approval, to just trust immediately that this is something I can pick. This is something that is good for me. So I want to ask you, ladies, maybe Murishca, how because the seal is all about healthy choices, making healthier choices, and reducing the risk of cancer. How has it, from your perspective, have you seen helping consumers make those choices? Are you seeing that there's a trend, maybe perhaps, do you see this actually happening, that the consumers are choosing the Be Well oils and mayonnaises over maybe perhaps others? And do you see that as the seal being beneficial to your brand?
Absolutely. I actually recently did a audit in Johannesburg or inland region, And we ask customers those questions, because the CANSA Smart Choice seal of recognition can be found on a number of products. But we wanted to check with them, is that the reason why you purchase our products? Are you being influenced by that? And the resounding answer is always yes, because again, cancer is linked to a terminal illness that no one wants. And your business exists to help people survive cancer, but also to prevent it. So you want to give people all of the key health notes to avoid any risk, etc. But you also help people that have experienced it to manage post their cancer, right? So because of that affiliation and because we've got that seal on there, as you mentioned earlier, it's an automatic peace of mind and stamp of approval that this product is better for you. I mean, it's all in the words. It says Smart Choice seal of recognition. It's the smarter choice. It's the better alternative. So having the seal on our product is great, because imagine yourself in a store, you in one aisle, the amount of the overload of information that comes your way, from point of sale to products being super colorful with all of this wording, etc. You look out as a consumer, you look out for things that you recognize, and the CANSA logo is recognizable because you've been around for 95 years. We've been around for 30, and then our brand 10 years. That automatic partnership gives us recognition too and credibility, which is very important to us. And it's the reason why we will continue to get our products, certified and sealed by CANSA, because we understand the benefit of that credibility. And not just because we want people to be able to recognize our products with another credible organization, but because we do want that expert endorsement, and we do want to feel like our products are manufactured in the best way, that we are giving products that are going to benefit people health-wise, that we're not just, it's not a marketing message, it's not a ploy, it is true value that we want to offer customers. And I mean, our tagline for Be Well is ingredients for better living, because ultimately we want to give you better products for better living. However that living and life looks like, our part that we play is by giving you healthier choices.
You've just touched on such an important point, if I may, because there's something that I know so many people ask me.
Yes.
And, so the question, because there is so much confusion out there about cooking oils, I mean, I'm sure you're quite aware of all of that, especially around seed oils, and then obviously looking at canola seed oil. So can you maybe just help us separate the fact from the fiction, and what your consumers look for when choosing an oil? That I think it is pivotal for everyone out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, Megan. There has been a lot of confusion and a lot of information. Like, you go onto online and there is a lot of information in general, but with regards to oils and seed oil specifically, have been put in a negative light often. But over the years, oils and seed oil specifically, they've become some of the most well-studied ingredients or products, food products out there, and again and again, the evidence shows that if handled properly, and that is quite important, but if handled properly, seed oils are very safe to consume. It contributes to a healthy diet. If it has nutritional benefits, your body needs fats and oils as well. But the key, I think, is very much in using oils properly, I mean, that means, we are not excessively heating and reheating oil for cooking food. We are limiting the headspace. When we are storing oil, we are limiting the headspace, to prevent oxidation in our oil product. And also, we are handling it well. We are storing it in a dark, dry area, not into in bright light. A lot of small things that we can do, that make sure that we keep the quality of the oil as long as possible. And also, we've done extensive analysis and testing over time, with shelf life testing, external analysis. So for us, it's also important that the consumer knows they can trust the brand, and that if we are saying, this is a great product out there, it's a beneficial product for you, that we can stand by it, and we do that with regular testing, analysis, and making sure that what, we walk the talk, basically, yes.
And also from a vitamin perspective, our products have the ideal, or at least our oil has the ideal omega-6 versus omega-3 ratio, which is why we are endorsed by CANSA. And so also amongst other oils, our cooking oil does have the lowest saturated fat or percentage of saturated fats. So, I mean, Tersia's more of the expert here, but in terms, if I could sum that up, I would say that seed oils essentially have more bad fats than good fats versus a canola oil. And Tersia, you can call me out if I'm right or wrong here.
Yeah, so I always say, what do you want from your oil product?
Yes.
And for us, obviously, it's important we try to help the consumer understand what makes canola oil different. It's not necessarily always just bad or good. It's what do you want from your oil product? Do you want an everyday cooking oil that's affordable, that gives you the high omega-3 that, like Megan also mentioned, we all can do with a lot more of.
Sure.
And it's low in saturated fats. It's got a nice high percentage of monounsaturated fats. So, if you are consuming that on a daily basis, and let's face it, oil is part of so many food products. It's part of our cooking almost on a daily basis. In some shape, way, or form, you are consuming oil, every day. So you want that oil that you are, consuming over 10, 20, 30 years, to contribute to your health. And with canola, that is what we believe it does. Like you mentioned, Murishca, about the omega-3, omega-6 ratio. So it's not, the omega-6 is not too high. That's often linked to inflammation, low level inflammation. Saturated fats are nice and low, it's good to limit saturated fats in your diet, and then, kind of very high in omega-3. So you've got all of these benefits in one oil, that's an affordable cooking oil at the end of the day, and I think that's what's important.
I also enjoy the versatility of the canola oil. So the fact that, you can use it cold or you can use it for cooking. And the fact that it's got that, higher smoking point, which means, the goodness of the oil, is maintained for a much longer period. So those are really, that also, coming into making sure that when you are consuming oil, that it does still have the good oils and that it's not oxidized, and that there's no development of, additional things like trans fats, which that's what really helps a lot from a canola point of view. And I'm very excited, to actually hear your whole summary, because I think this is something that we need to put to bed, that people need to understand that you can't lump everything together, because actually the content is different. And yet there's a lot of research and a lot of benefit to it. And that, when we do that, we actually are also not looking at the detail or the health benefits of certain oils, because we're putting them all together. So I hope that helps everyone. I don't know about you, Kutsai, but I'm already convinced that I know that, many people wonder. And so these are really good points that we must remember. And it's not us speaking. It's not BWell speaking. It's not CANSA speaking. This is the research speaking. It's been proven, and not in one study, but in many studies. It's a good level of evidence. So I think that's a really important one that we need to look at, and maintaining all those good elements in the oil. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So here, for the seal of recognition and here at CANSA, the aim is that when shoppers, as you say, go into the shops, they recognize the stamp, they recognize the seal of approval, and hence it translates to people having more seal of recognition approved products in their basket of foods. This is so that, we're trying to assist with consumers making healthy choices for their families and for their friends and for the people closest and around them. So we have noticed that over the years, BWell has expanded its product range to give families more options to make those healthier choices. How important is it to BWell to offer that wider basket of products that can help lower the risk of cancer?
I think it's important because the more options we give, the more healthier choices we enable, you know. So we've expanded into cooking and baking sprays, sandwich spreads. Our mayonnaise recently got endorsed. It's the first mayo in South Africa to be endorsed by CANSA, which is a major win for us. And Tersia has all the technicalities behind that, exactly why it was approved. But if you think of all the ingredients that go into a meal, you know, if our products can feature in the top 2 of the 4 ingredients that makes up that meal, then it's a win for your health, as our products are made well, as you know, as a partner, and it's filled with all of the good stuff, you know, the omega-3s and the lower saturated fats and all of the technical terms that we spoke about earlier. But also our products are GMO free. They've got less salt, less sugar. And so the list of the health benefits go on and on and on. So our mission is to make our products as accessible, but then also make our products a part of people's everyday lives. And the only way we can do that is by constantly expanding.
Thing I really like to hear that, you know, when it all comes together, it really sounds so wonderful and so accessible for people. And like, there's a lot you can choose from. And I'm excited to actually see that point Murishca said, that if the top 2 products in every home are B-Well products, then it's a win for all of us.
Absolutely. And as you know, the perception of eating healthy is that it's expensive and it's not as accessible. But I think our range truly proves, and if you benchmark our prices against our competitors, it proves that we are for the masses. We're not just for a premium customer, but our products are very easy to purchase. They're easy to understand from an ingredients perspective. They're very cleanly made. So it is a lot more accessible and easy for you to make healthier choices if you simply choose Be Well.
Absolutely. And I often say to people as well, is, when we do make healthier choices and that whole perception of, healthier eating is more expensive,
Sure.
is we have to sit down and go, is it really? Because
Yeah.
if you're eating more healthily, you're going to have less issues with your health. Meaning that very often you might actually be able to, obviously with your doctor, speak to them. And if you're on medication, perhaps even reduce some of your medication. Some people come off medication. Obviously,
Absolutely.
say this, it must be, together in discussion with your doctor. But that then actually, those expenses a person must actually, bring into the whole decision-making process. We mustn't just look at it as a standalone. And the other thing I also always say is, if we are starting in our families to purchase products that are better for our health, we also are teaching our children to, at this point, make it part of their lives. I mean, many of us have a brand loyalty. We've bought these things from, when we were children, and we've used certain items, and so this is where I actually see it going as well, and actually growing, is bringing down, improving health, cutting costs there, but at the same time also feeling so much better and looking to the future and ensuring families. And that's why I'm excited about the what you just mentioned now, and that's the point. Diving in a bit deeper and looking at Be Well's first mayonnaise range, and partnering with us, being the first mayonnaise range, and to carry the CANSA Smart seal. Why is that such an important breakthrough?
I think for me, at least, when you look at mayonnaise as a food product, and now obviously we all, in some households, I must say, and we've seen this with consumers and clients, but they are consuming a lot of mayonnaise. It's almost a staple type food ingredient, but I think it's important. Obviously, we want to have people make it part of a healthy diet and eating way of eating. But to be able to say, guys, here we've got a mayonnaise, it's endorsed by CANSA, it's the first mayonnaise range endorsed by CANSA. It actually gives you more benefits than just tasting great. It comes back to that offering choices to people. It's great to say we want people to make better choices, but if they don't have choices, then it's also a limiting factor. So to actually say, when you go up, when you buy mayonnaise, you can buy a product, it's very high in omega-3, it's endorsed by CANSA. And, coming back to CANSA as well, who of us have not been affected by cancer, in some shape, way, or form, whether it's family or friends. It's become even more of a reality over the years in our lives. And to be able to offer a product that, when you see that seal and when they buy that mayonnaise or that product, that it's contributing to help some small way against the fight against cancer. That already says so much. So to have more products that with the seal and especially on the mayonnaise side, I just think it's great.
Absolutely. And that also leads me on to say, when we're looking at more and more people want to eat healthier, we can see that. And you're also seeing it by the fact that more people are choosing oils like canola. But they don't always know where to start. And how can products like your Be Well oils and mayonnaises be used actually in simple everyday meals?
Yeah, so we have a host of free resources on our website. It's actually under the banner of free resources. So it's on bewellfoods.co.za, where people can actually download healthy recipes for everyday cooking. Also have a look at our range of products and unpack kind of what it contains. We also focus on, there's a page called Choose Canola. It lists all of the benefits of canola and why having and consuming canola made products or canola rich products is so beneficial for you in the long run. We also have a cancer lifestyle guide that we've done in partnership with your organization. That's also available for free download. So the information is there, and it's credible information. It's vetted information. It was not written by ChatGPT. This is pre-ChatGPT days. So absolutely vetted and correct and accurate. And if you know Tersia, she would be 100% accurate in every way. So yeah, it's information that you can trust and you can use in your everyday life. So like Tersia said, it's important for us to give people so many healthy options, but we're also giving you tips in terms of how to use our products, how to cook properly with canola oil versus olive oil, and how you fry with those two different products differently too. And it's all under our free resources page. So people are welcome to go there and just read more, and also email us, contact us if you want more information. We are here to also provide that type of added value to consumers, because we want them to understand what Be Well stands for, but also understand the benefits that our products bring in their everyday life.
It's
That's really
we need to grow that range more and more, because this actually, the whole issue and fear with many people about fat, and we need to ensure that people are consuming good fats and sufficient.
Absolutely.
Because of all the benefits and the need. Our body needs many of these fats. We can't produce them if we don't add those building blocks. So yeah, I'm excited to even see the way forward, and it's nice to increase our range. And
Definitely. We would love to be in every grocery aisle. One day we'll expand into beauty possibly, but for now, all edible groceries, I think there's space for Be Well to exist. And for us to also have a cancer seal of recognition will make all the difference.
I'm very excited to see the way forward, and it's been such a lovely journey up until now. And people that we can always trust in terms of giving out the correct information, and we thank you for that. That has always been something that has been a total pleasure to work with you at Southern Oil. Is trying to check in all the information and ensuring the right information goes out, and that's been fantastic. So, Kutsai, is there anything else you would like to ask?
As I was saying earlier before we started recording, I was telling Murishca in person that I actually brag about Be Well as if it's mine. And I'm so proud of this partnership as the Cancer Seal of Recognition Manager. I'm super proud of. I'll tell anybody about Be Well and the canola oil and the products. I will tell anyone who listen in the
You
shop.
post a video anytime and tag us. Send you more product.
We're going to be cooking next on the Cancer Couch.
Yes.
Cooking with
So I'm
Kudzai.
really, yes, cooking with Kudzai. So I'm really proud of this brand. I'm really proud of this partnership. I want everybody to know about the products that Be Well has. I want everybody to understand the Cancer Seal of Recognition and what it means for them and their families. And Be Well is so crucial in our partnership in spreading that message of lowering the cancer risk. And the work that you've done goes beyond, with the cookbooks and the lifestyle guides, goes beyond just manufacturer or maker of these oils. You actually care about people, you care about the communities. So as we celebrate cancer's 95th birthday, what does a partnership like this mean to you? And what message would you like to leave as we close up on our podcast episode? What message would you like to leave South Africans about making healthier choices?
I think from my side, I would like to say, that people often think, they're looking for that magic bullet, that magic one solution that, just answer to something that will solve, kind of a large part of the problems out there. But oftentimes, it is about the small everyday choices. For me, in any case, if you're looking at healthy eating and looking after your health, you and your family's health, choosing to buy Be Well canola oil, is an investment in your health, in your family's health. It is something, if you are consuming, and I've mentioned it before, but I'm a firm believer in this, that you are consuming it over a long period of time, then, as you get older, you are helping protect your body against lifestyle diseases, against illnesses that comes with age. You are really building your health. And so it is the small choices, the small changes you make, when you're picking a product, it doesn't feel like a lot, but, you pick a CANSA endorsed product that is going to, benefit you more than, kind of deciding to, exercise for 1 week straight and never again. So it's about that continuous choosing the healthier option, the better option for you, and whether it's in food or in any other thing in your life, so that would be my message.
Absolutely. It's about like making it a habit, to make healthier choices. And as Tersia said, small changes will lead to big wins. And so our products definitely do make it easy for people to make the changes. But outside of making the changes, I think as someone who, when I joined this company, I am not a shopper. I don't do the grocery shopping at home. My husband absolutely does. So a lot of his choices are based on price. And if he does understand the nutritional label, he will buy the product. But for him, it's about like logos and brands that I know and that I'm comfortable with and that I have history of, that it's good for you, or whatever that may be. But for me, my biggest flip and switch over and conversion to Be Well has been our taste. So our products just do taste good. And again, another negative perception and misconception is that healthy products taste like crap. Tastes like cardboard, like anything that's vegan-free or vegan or plant-based does not taste that good. And I've had that experience. I've worked at a Pick and Pay where we've tried to develop a Live Well range, and we had to go through so many like trials because the products we did want to be reduced sugar and lower in carbs and all of those good things, but it still needed to uphold the taste. And I think Be Well and the company's done a really good job in terms of making sure that the products taste good and they're good for you. And having that combination is really the winning combination. And I think it's the reason why the brand continues to grow and be around for so long, because you'll find in the market a vegan or a very healthy brand will come in and they leave after 2 years because customers are keen to try them, but they're not keen to become a frequent and a loyal shopper of them. So my message to SA is try our product and you will forever be addicted to Be Well, because it is better for you. And so the brand lives up to all of the hype. And you'll notice on our packaging, we keep it clean, we keep it simple. We're not making false promises. It's all vetted and assured. And again, having that CANSA seal is further proof of how much better the product is for you.
Well, I'm sure our listeners have heard it all here today. And I'm sure everybody out there is eager or excited to pick some BeWell products and put them in their shopping baskets as of today, or what especially, because we've heard it all. It's not just tasty. It's backed by science, people who care about the communities. So we are really excited, and we are so happy that you could be able to join us on our podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are excited to see where the partnership goes in the future as we continue with you and as we go beyond our 95 years. Thank you so much, ladies.
Absolutely.
And see. Thanks, everyone.